So, welcome back. Time for a little update. First of all, MakeSeamless, what's new here? And then there's more stuff, better stuff. Okay, yeah, let's compare this here. Actually, that's a screenshot from the old video. And as you can see, it took 6 seconds, a little more than 6 seconds to paint the edge pixel, and 1.7 for the corner pixel, and 0.8 seconds to analyze the mesh. This here is not faster. The loading part and the saving part is the same, unfortunately, but the rest is a little faster. So let's see how much faster. Okay, here's the map, right? The same map as in the other video, and the same mesh, same UV layout. Everything is the same, just a faster script. So let's just run it. Here's the screen, the terminal to see the times, and let's just hit run. It will prepare the map, right? Roughly the same size. Okay, and the rest is done. So let's finish that. So here you can see the new times. Let's compare this. Analyzing mesh is down from it's down to 0.04 seconds from 0.8, right? And then averaging corner pixel, this was already quite fast, but now it's like 0. And painting edge pixel is now here, and yeah, 0.01 seconds instead of 6 seconds. Quite a bit of speed up, and same for painting corner pixels, right? Creating and loading is unfortunately not faster. Okay. So why is that important? Because now there is UDIM support for MakeSeamless. What does that mean? This is a second map. I sculpted, or I tested it out with ZBrush, and you can sculpt up to 1 billion polygons in ZBrush, and I subdivided this mesh here up to 400 million and baked maps for that, right? Just for testing. So let's unwrap this, and it uses 32 UDIM tiles. No, let's press unwrap. And then it looks like that, right? 32 UDIM tiles, and that's just the first image. As you can see, there's no border, right? And all the other maps have no border as well. So let's run this script here. There's no user interface yet, right? You don't have to do that stuff in the final version. That's the right one. 9 subdivs, and each tile has, or each image has roughly 4K. 4K size, right? Okay, this will take some time, the loading part, so I'm gonna pause this, but let's click this run script first. Right, it will prepare the maps, all 32. Will take some time. So all the images are loaded, yes. So as you can see, the painting functions are still super fast, right? The analyzing mesh is of course the same, averaging corner pixel still 0, and the only thing here is 0.13 seconds, right? But it painted basically 32 maps. So, and now it has to write out all those maps. That will take some time again. So let me pause this. So, okay, finished. Okay, what's that? No idea. What the heck is that? I hope we can see the times. Yes, we can. Okay. It took 180 seconds, so 3 minutes. But yeah, as you can see, the actual painting functions, this just, it's 0 basically. Okay, but how does it look like, right? Let me show you. As you can see here, it's the black border, and now the border is gone. It's a seamless map, and it wrote out all 32 maps, right? EXR maps. 5.6 gigabytes. Okay, this is quite large, and just in case you're low on memory, or you don't want to spend much memory here, like I have ZBrush loaded, so virtual machine 30 gigabytes or something like that, and a browser of course with, I don't know, 10 gigabytes, Blender itself. So maybe you don't want to spend that much memory. There's also a new feature called disk cache. Oops, here you can, in the final version, you can just enable this, and it will write all the stuff to disk instead of loading it into memory, and then it will create the same result, just with lower memory. It's a little slower, but it won't use much memory, just a little bit. Okay, just in case you have to deal with a lot. This doesn't make sense for, I don't know, up to 10 images or so, 3-4K images. That's not a problem, but let's say you have 16 8K images, then you could use that here. Okay, yeah, and while working on the MakeSeamless and MakeUV script and so on, I realized that it's really bad to bake something in Blender, especially the displacement maps. First of all, the workflow is horrible. not very good, right? Assigning images here and then selecting this stuff there, and then not the best quality comes out of the bake, right? So I decided to bake, or to write my own baker, which will be called MakeBake, of course. Let me show you MakeBake. And this, at the moment, it bakes the displacement map. It also can bake vector displacement map, but I won't show you that. But there could be more maps, right? Cavity and whatnot, thickness map. But at the moment, the most important thing is here is the displacement map. And yeah, the goal for that is a very simple baker. So basically one click, and then it should bake a good displacement map, high quality displacement map. And there's the second goal. It should be high quality, right? A good displacement map without any errors and so whatever. Yeah, there are a lot of problems with the other maps from the Blender render, right? Like weird artifacts and whatnot. That should not happen. And yeah, let me demonstrate it to you. Not with this mesh here. With this one here, I downloaded this. It's not from me. I like to use meshes that are not from me because I usually optimize my meshes for the use case, and that's not a real test anymore then. So I just like this one here. Also it has an UV layout, right? Also not from me. You can download this from somewhere. Anyway, you can find this. Just search for Musician or something like that. Anyway, it's a ZBrush mesh, but I brought it into Blender, and this one has a few subdivisions or multi-res level, like this here, right? Details. And that's a requirement for my baker. It uses multi-res. You have to have a multi-res mesh, not just a cage or so. No, you don't. You have to have a multi-res mesh. Okay, and then you just select the mesh, right? And then it needs UV layout. Just okay, this here, for example. And at the moment there's no border paint for the regular UV layout, but there will be one, but that's not there at the moment. Anyway, let's bake a map for this one here. So I need these three. Right, let's just use this one, 5K map. That's for the next part actually. Anyway, let's run bake. And okay. First of all, it will subdivide the mesh. Right, that will take some time. I'm not sure how long exactly. Let's wait a little bit. Come on. Basically, okay, it goes to the highest mesh and then it applies the multi-res modifier. Then it will calculate the displacement. As you can see, it's extremely fast, 0.23 seconds. And then it will create the map, also not the fastest here. Anyway, you will end up with something like this here. And that's a proper displacement map, 32-bit float displacement map, right? As you can see, there's no overpaint, but there will be one. And yeah, the baker will support UDIM, of course. So there's a second UV layout. This one here, it's the same. Oops. Okay, there's one more feature. It will create a copy of the mesh with a subsurf modifier on it, so you don't have to copy it yourself, right? Okay, let's delete this one and let's enable this here. So that's the same UV layout, just distributed over multiple UDIM tiles. And yeah, the baker is optimized for UDIM. That means this is tile 1, and it goes up to tile 10. And then it goes one up, and this is tile 11, right? This is not tile 4, this is tile 11. It goes up to 20, and then goes, up to 20, and then it goes up one more time. That would be 21, and so on. Right? Very simple UDIM style. It's very easy to calculate, and it's very easy to use that. Okay, yeah, it can also bake that. And let's bake actually, this is tile 1, but we want to see the main part of the face, so that would be tile 2. Let's enable that. Okay, and let's bake this again. Yeah, it will subdivide the mesh again, it will take some time. Okay, so it should be finished in a second. Okay, this time it took 0.42 seconds because it painted actually 4 5K maps, right? It will paint all the maps in one go, but it won't save them out yet because it's not necessary right now. But yeah, it's quite fast to bake this displacement stuff. And as you can see here, we have tile 1. We could also enable tile 2 and whatnot, 11, and so on. Yeah, and that's a good looking displacement. It's not yet finished. There's a projection feature missing, and yeah, the border paint and so on. Okay, but that's not the main part, right? There will be an automatic mode, and that will combine MakeUV, MakeSeamless, and the baking script. And yeah, that's the ultimate one-click solution, basically. So let's do that, but I have to change the code a little bit, so I have to pause it for a second. So I hope it will work. First of all, let's read that image here. So as you can see, checkerboard, and then in the final version, the UV layout will be created with the bake click. But for now, that's not there yet, so I unwrapped it already right here. You can see it, the MakeUV style unwrap, optimized for a 5120 pixel map. And just let's bake it. And we'll subdivide the mesh again, so let me pause this. So it should be finished soon. Yeah, it's subdivided 6 million polygons, so it's okay. That takes a little bit of time. Come on. Okay, now it's done. And you can see here it calculated the displacement in 0.09 seconds. It analyzed the low-res mesh in 0.2 seconds and so on. And yeah, painting edge pixels, everything extremely low. And here's the map, right? As you can see, the seamless border. Perfect. And yeah, let's actually apply this map. Let's move this onto a second layer. As you can see here, this is M, and this is M001, and this is the new mesh with the subsurf modifier on it to make it easier to use it. Otherwise, you have to delete it and so on. So let's go into camera view, into node editor, and let's load number D3 or D3. Multiply by 10, right? There will be a scale fix in the final version. And everything is correct here, and let's change it actually to cubic to enable very smooth displacement. Next thing we have to do is enable adaptive. That's it. 1 pixel per polygon is okay, and let's just render it. Okay, it's a little. Okay, that's better. Well, as you can see, there's our displacement, seamless displacement, and the material is set to, or the displacement, no, it's just bump. Okay, let's set it to both. Now we have displacement, right? And bump mapping at the same time. Now really the silhouette is broken, as you can see here. And this is now seamless with 1 click. It's not the best, you can see it here. This could be better, but yeah, the projection feature is still missing. Anyway, we can zoom in, and you won't see any seams, right? That will be the real power of the script. Very easy, and it will scale with whatever, yeah, with whatever size you have to deal with, right? I mean, you could sculpt with 100 million polygons in Blender, and you can bake that. Okay, yeah, that's it for now. See you in the next video.